Hey folks, we're live. We got there in the end. We're here. Sorry about that. Couldn't get into my Trello account. But we're in there now, and we're live. You see the flickering of the Christmas lights behind me. Right, so I haven't done a Blender stream for a little while. And I've been trying to work on my character design off stream, and I'm just hitting brick walls. So we're going to do something fresh today. Let's do something fresh. So I'm going to have a look at my notes of what stuff we can work with and work on. So go have a quick look for my notes for the upcoming game. Well, we could even do something for the current game I'm working on. I'm currently working on a game called Revolt Overthrow. So I could do something for that, or I could do something that would work in both games. Nice little crossover Easter egg. Well, I'll go have a look at what we could work on today. Let's switch over to the main screen. We've got our default cube. So let's have a look. We could do something simple. So we've got a few kind of individual things we could work on. I don't think that's too complicated, but I would like to do something that's going to make a could be interesting to make. But I don't want to show off my Trello board because there's a lot of stuff I don't want people to see until the game's actually finished, which is going to be a while, but still. I could do some buildings. Buildings are nice and simple. You can add a lot of detail to a building. So I could do some buildings. Buildings don't require too much shaping. A lot of straight kind of cubular stuff. I have a lot of like organic things that I need to make in the game, and some of it I could probably base off templates out there. Shall we? Well, we could bring in one thing I could make is the there's going to be creatures, entities. That should be fairly simple to make. Don't require much shaping, especially if I use an established model to base it off. Let's dive into my assets, because I feel I can do something what's it going to be under? Let's go to that location here. Castle Mega Pack is what we want. because I don't mind kind of taking stuff and adapting it. So it still kind of feels unique that way. Okay. Rock. What's this? Ah, okay. This is kind of getting close to what I need. So I could do this from scratch. I suppose you wouldn't have to do it from scratch, but having shapes I can base stuff off. So number 8's not too bad. Let's go lucky number 13. And I want something a little bit rounder. So anything kind of using something that's been established is that they all got a certain look to them already. That's probably close. Let's go with that. Want me to import it straight off, or should we do it? Probably have to do it through here, aren't we? Import a FBX file. This is a rock. We've got mossy rocks. That's going to be useful. What have we got? Can I import multiple things? Okay, we've got a number of rocks. Just pick the ones we want. Let's delete the cube and hide everything. Not sure about that one. It's definitely too flat. That's not a bad looking one. I like that. Let's put that to the side. A little bit too angular. Oh, that's quite a nice roundish one. Let's move that to the side. Too angular, too flat. Okay, let's delete all those ones. Because they're not as interesting. So out of these ones, so we can shape these a bit more. This one's something that's a bit closer to what we're getting. They're pretty similar. That's got that extra bit at the bottom there. I think this has probably got more sides to it. Yeah, this one's got more sides to it. It's got more polygons. So we'll remove that one. And we can make that a little bit better to work with, I think. Cool. Let's do this. So let's go for a modifier. Oops, one window. Bring that back over here. Modifier. We want a deform. Oh, what is it? Is it say? Oh, I forgot what they call it. So this is where I need to do more of these kind of things. So no, it's not an intuitive name, they call it. Subdivision surface? Ah. Maybe I was thinking of the wrong thing. See, that looks a bit more the shape I'm after. I don't want it to be perfectly round, because I could very easily just generate a sphere. I want something that's got a bit of personality to it, and that's done half the job for us. So let's apply that. Now, the scale of that is a little bit too big, but we can scale this down. Let's go scaling. Making a rock, I see. Yes, how's it going, Jeffrey? Thank you for your message. So, yeah, I was quite frustrated, and I thought, if I can't get into this account, I'm just gonna not bother. But then I did, and I saw your message, and I, you know what? I'm not gonna let this put me off doing something creative. But yeah, we're making a rock. Because in Moongate Mage, there are anthropomorphic. Oh, what's the word? Anthropomorphic rocks. I can't remember the exact word. It's things come to life. Animated objects.
Epic.
Epic. Hogwarts Legacy 3 on Epic now, by the way. Yes, I saw. That's a good way to get a hold of the game without sending money directly to any IP owners. So yeah, that's cool. So just kind of say something. Either a lot of money's been spent. Yes, I did claim. Oh yeah, Nyx has claimed as well. Yeah, I did claim it. I'll play it eventually. We'll definitely not stream it though. You two Hufflepuffs, yes. We are definitely, both Nyx and I are Hufflepuffs, for sure. want to shrink. Let's rotate one, shrink it. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's what we're thinking. Lisa was a Ravenclaw friendly. Oh, okay. I assume Slytherin, yeah. Actually, it should probably be on the line there. So considering these squares are a meter, this is quite a large rock. So we still need to shrink it a bit. So I expect these rocks are basically the size of a dog at most. I have yet to do a house test. That does not give me 100% Slytherin. No, I can see that. I can see you're the kind of person that would probably align with their ideals. I think Slytherin just gets the job done, but not necessarily with consideration to people's feelings or being strictly holding to any rules. Is that, well, this is the most efficient way of doing it, I don't care the consequence. I'm not saying that you're like that, but sort of we kind of better aligned to go, well, I don't really want to overthink this. Whereas other houses are more, okay, let's consider all the options, make sure we are doing the right thing. And I know Hufflepuffs are very laid back about stuff, very casual, but very fierce. Now it's a meter tall. Is still a large rock. Need to be smaller than a meter. So it's a good thing with Blender and Unity is that if you work in meters and centimeters, it's very easy for you to understand the actual scale of something you're making. So that's a meter. So how many squares do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each of these small squares is 10 centimeters. So that makes this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 centimeters high. So that could be 2. Let's have a quick look at the average height of a dog. Also a reasonably good sized dog. We don't want a Stafford because Staffords are quite small. It could go Rottie. They're a good solid dog. So a male is anywhere between 61 to 69 centimeters. So probably about that height that I've got the rock at the moment. It's about the average height of a male Rottweiler. So if you consider a person to be 1.5 meters, would be about halfway up the second square here. Yeah, I think that's an appropriate height for a rock-based creature. And the question is, what should I use as the front of the rock? This is Fog Mantle, yeah. I thought I'd get some inspiration for the game, for the form of music. Possibly this side. Okay. So this is going to be the front. You're getting a couple of small spheres. Probably icospheres, probably do. So let's go add mesh icosphere. And let's shrink this down considerably. See, I could have used an icosphere, but it's a bit too perfect. Whereas that's more of a natural misshape. And I could have taken the icosphere and I could have gone to the trouble of misshaping it myself. No, it doesn't matter for the eyes though. I don't want to be quite that protruding. Now, I want these things to be quite goofy looking. They're going to have to be, I want them to be, to a certain extent, a little bit cute, but also sort of bizarre. So their eyes need to be quite non-threatening. Now I think to make something non-threatening, their eyes need to be bigger, don't they, really? Let's make this a bit bigger. Because anything with big eyes typically It's perceived to be cuter. So if that's the size of one of its eyes, I think that's an appropriate eye size for a animated rock. So let's rename the icosphere to eye. Rename it to body. If I duplicate the eye, paste, so we got I1, I2, oh. That kind of works. Probably needs to go and go in slightly. Move that one out. It's a little bit bug-eyed. Let's set that in a little bit more. Hi, sell emotes. Hey Lisa, sell the best emotes on Twitch. And there they are. Awesome emotes. Thank you, thank you. Let's scale both these together. There we go. That's more cute. More cute, I'd say. So the bigger the eyes, and these are eyes. These aren't anything else. Probably want to set them in a little bit more. Quick look at my so here's a description of what I'm making. This is what I've written. A normal looking rock, easy to mistake for an inanimate object. Only when they open their eyes will they be noticed. They have no other features. Their eyes are in the style of googly eyes. Their only attack is to roll forward at the player and can be found in many places. So they need to be able to close their eyes, or at least the texture needs to be grey to suggest the same colour as the rest of them. Or I suppose what if I could achieve it, try and make these almost like glass, like sort of a clear sphere, and then their eyeballs like another, like a black rock rattling inside of it. I don't know how I would achieve that. But let's can we go to edit. Actually, go back to object mode. Can we so they're not so protruding. Scale that so it's flatter. Cool, and we shall delete that one. Delete it from over here. Scale that up. Still quite bug-eyed there. Yeah, not bad. Probably go with that. It's finding the right rotation though on the actual. There's me thinking making a rock would be easier. Yeah, I'll kind of do this. Yeah. Let's use some texture painting on this. Texture properties. So a new texture. New image. Call this rock eye. Image itself doesn't need to be very big, so 300 by 300. And default color is white. And the image we want to use is rock eye. So these are enemies, yes. Yeah, it could be the lowest and easiest of enemies. They're not going to be able to do much damage. As I said, all they are is rocks. Let's make a save of what I'm doing here. somehow it's inside out. Let's have a quick Google. Can't remember how to do this. How do I... There we go, flipped normal. Select object in edit mode. Yes. Press A, yes. Shift N. To recalculate normals. Blender automatically calculates all normals to point outwards, fixing shading problems instantly. Are we sure about that? Don't think the normals have been fixed. Still looks very much inside out. Alt N flips inverts faces, so vertex normals, split normals, normal edit modifier. Modifier that fix the complex normal issues, especially with subdivision stuff. Are they smart beings? Not particularly. They're quite literally dumb as a rock. Yeah, they're kind of the lowest of creatures. They're kind of more of a nuisance than anything. But they're kind of, I don't know what you would... They're kind of like almost common pests, I suppose, in some ways. But there's going to be multiple different variations of them to keep them interesting. Like, oh, this is what a rock you've seen before, but this one can do something different. So it kind of keeps the player on their toes to go, I know how to deal with these. You know, oh, I didn't realise this one could do that. So they certainly, when the player is a bit of a lower level, they're more aggro towards the player. But But as the player kind of gets more powerful, they're not as interested. Think of them like some games will have like slime. So you think like Stardew Valley, you have a slime. So the slimes just kind of happily bob around and go, oh, there's a player, and just kind of go towards them and just lunge at the player. So they're kind of the same mentality as a slime in Stardew Valley. That's kind of the what I would equate them to. So, do I have to manually select these? Because these normals are completely off. Like, Blender has somehow calculated that the inside of the rock is actually the side that has faces. Let's go select all. I flipped the normals. So if I go inside the rock now, so we can see the faces inside the rock. I don't know why we can't see the faces outside the rock. Okay. Kind of. Yeah, I don't know why we can see through it there. It shouldn't be see-through. I don't understand that. If we go to that view, I don't understand. Why are we seeing through it? Odd. Very odd. Yeah, this is fine though. Yeah, I don't want it shade smooth. Shade flat, yeah. I want it to look angular. Okay, how do we look at normals in Blender? Be right back, okie dokie. See you both shortly. I didn't mind press N to open the properties on the right hand side. So. Okay. That's properties, normals. Scroll down to mesh display. I didn't remember press enter. Which version of Blender is this? Backface culling. This will hide faces that have their normals facing away from you. Ah. Scroll up to shadings header. Shadings. Cool, got shading. Right, we'll take that off. Okay, so we just won't use the built-in. Okay, that works. It was the built-in materials was a bit off. We just need to make a new material. That's fine. Material. New material. Let's call this rock body. Base color. It's gonna be a grey. Don't particularly want it to be shiny. Oh, okay, metallic texture. Let's see if we can make it like a rock texture. As funky as that is, I do kind of want to so where's the nodes? We want to view the nodes. Geometry node to texture node. There we go. Maybe not then. Oh, there we go. Still need to get used to this get used to the editor really. So once I can find my way around Blender more smoother. Shift F3. back to that point. Okay, right. So we're using nodes now. Well, that's interesting. Didn't realise I can do that. I can actually duplicate the window. That's interesting. How do we... Okay, I have to Google another one then. Ah, there you go. This is what I was after. Back, welcome back. Okay, so that's what using nodes is. Add as an input. Not really the base colour though, is it? It's the it's magic texture as a base colour, so Use input value texture. There we go. Magic texture. So we can use color into vector. Scale. So that's not actually showing the okay, delete. The shirt my friend sent me as a gift today is cool. Eh? Oh yes, I love that. That's really cool. Picked it up himself as a surprise. Awesome. It's always nice when people know you to the point they can pick something out and you just instantly like it. Nice band. I've seen them open up for Corpacani. Nice. Okay, so that's what we're trying to achieve here. It's not going to be green, but we want to add a texture. Checker texture. Okay, cool. We're having things are kind of happening now. Delete that. Let's go for a different node, texture node. Right, okay. Let's add a vector displacement into vector. Oh, that gives like a gradient. That's cool. But this whole node thing down here is something in itself. We want to get like sort of two-tone textures like this. This isn't exactly what I want to go for, but it's interesting messing with this. Move the scale and object space. If I go straight into there. Okay, so it's a similar effect. I can't displace it through the texture or through the output. Basically, these different colours, rather than having colours, I would like these to be tones. So it's grey, but with different shadings of grey. So it's kind of finding out if I can put the magic texture through a filter. That keeps it the same. There you go, RGB to black and white. Let's try that. So we'll disconnect that, put that into there. Disconnect that from there, and go into there. change the scaling a little. Distortion. If I remove the displacement, don't think I really need that. Oh, that's funky. What can I do this? Here we go. Bring the scale. I like that swishiness. Let's change the. I want that to make it, I want it to be a little bit darker. How can we change this tone a little bit? What else do we have here? Converters. Shader. Refraction. I want something that's going to reduce the value. Bright contrast, invert, let's try that. So let's disconnect that from there, plug into there. We'll change the base color while we're here. So it's closer to the original color, and then plug that color into base color. So learning by trial and error. I think Photoshop has something similar to this. I've never really looked at it before. Let's 4.9. Let's see if we can get. It almost gives like a marble effect. Which I do like. Stupid Bob, yeah. Just a little bit brighter. Too bright. Okay, maybe we change the so that kind of looks like a let's scale. So what I could do if I want to be really fancy is make a series of textures with slightly different values. I think I'm happy with that one, to be honest. I think I'm happy with that. Let's go back to modeling. So that kind of like a nice nice variation in the shading there. So the eye, now I could do the eye with just a black dot in the middle, because these things are just going to be staring off. Like ideally I'd like the black pupil of the eye just to kind of rattle around, but it's not going to be the end of the world if it's just a single black dot that doesn't move and the whole eyeball kind of shifts. You know what I mean? Kind of rather than the eye, the dot, the pupil in the middle of the eye move, just like the whole, kind of like lizards or iguanas, where like the whole eyeball kind of moves, not anything else. So I could paint so if I'm going to do that, is it worth making them round so the whole thing rotates? And the other side is just the same colour. Might have to do that. Where's the values for this? Geometry data. No. Ah, here it is. I can rescale this to be the largest value, which is, there we go. So it's now round again. So we just set the eye into the, it doesn't matter if it's set in a bit more. Set the rotation back to 0 because it doesn't need to be rotated if it's round. Okay, let's do some texture painting. Lock eye. Ooh, okay. Some pretty cool looking textures there. There's pink eye, he does. There we go. Right. Right, this is what we were going for. Texture painting. So missing materials, textures detected. Is this still fog mantle? I don't recognise it in full. Yes, this is Wind Through the Ivy Arches on the Breeze of the Elderwoods album. Some is made years ago, just recently released. Yeah. Oh yes, Elf Girl, yes. Songs are old as they have. Rock Eye Matt. It's got no textures. So we've got texture painting here. Why are we no longer got a texture assigned here? There's a video here. Let's have a quick look. Texture slots. So why does that look different to my screen? Ah, there we go. Can we select the we already have the image over here. Let's try again then. That's not the colour I selected. Why is that coming through black? All the colours I've chosen are white. Why am I going black? I think if I chose green, I should get green, but no, it's black. There's green down here, there's green up here, and there's green over here. Everything's green, that's black. Let's go save. So I'm watching this video where everything seems to be set the same as I've got. Well, I don't mind that it's black in this instance because I do want black, but I'd also like to make the eye completely white first. Because that's green if I right click there. Oh, is the texture being converted to black and white? But if I chose white, surely. Converting white to black and white would just be pure white. No, 'cause that's not even on here. Okay, so that's white there. If I went green, still black. I don't understand. Okay, let's copy paste. Okay, it's kind of what I'm going for. So these things will basically just roll around. That's the right eye, so dot R. Dot L. And I suppose for them to move around, it's kind of, you need to make sure their front-facing direction is always kind of that direction. So go back to my references. So that is the basic one you're going to come across. Now, my description doesn't show them having a mouth. They don't eat because they're rocks, but they would absorb minerals kind of by osmosis, I suppose. If we were to go into the details of how these things survive. Oh, he's back. Welcome back. It's kind of cute. Yeah, Mac has been a bit of a bit of a bitch, so trying to fix that. Sorry to hear. So a bit AFK, that's alright. Still sell emotes. Still sell the best emotes. But yeah, it's kind of the effect I'm going for. But yeah, the way I've described it in... because I've written notes ages ago. These notes have been in my Trello for like over a year. So these things just have eyes, and I would like it to get it so their eyes can be disguised, whether they kind of roll in to their face and the other side of the eye is just the same colour as the rest of them. So they kind of like effectively close their eyes and they just look like rocks. I could go cartoony with this. If I went cartoony, you'd have like eyebrows. Now I'm not sure if I want to give them eyebrows. Oh hey bot, just seen your message there. What game are you making? Making an adventure game. Kind of like inspired by Legend of Zelda. Like the older Legends of Zelda. Like an RPG light. Well, how are you, Bob? Thank you for dropping in. So yeah, these are the lowest level kind of mobs you can find. But I don't know, do they need eyebrows? They are supposed to be cute, the whole point of them being cute. Sounds cool. What engine are you using? I'm could be using Unity engine. I'm currently making a basic game in Unity just to learn stuff at the moment. And my coding knowledge is already in C#, so it's an easy sidestep into game development. So yeah, I'll be dropping this straight into Unity. So it's I've already done some Blender to Unity stuff. This hasn't worked out too badly. But I haven't really made too many notes on... They don't really need eyebrows, do they? I'm supposed to be making assets for my game, but I'm lazy, so now watching your stream. That's fair, bot, fair. Like if I wasn't streaming this, I would never make the assets. So the whole point of me streaming is to kind of hold myself accountable. Because this idea has been in my head for over a year. And I thought, well, I need to learn Blender, I need to learn Unity, and then I can start putting my ideas in. But what game are you making, Bob? What kind of thing are you up to? Yeah, I'm thinking these are going to be the common thing. Let's not going to overcomplicate it. Like them blinking is probably about the most expression these things are going to have. And so they're kind of loosely based off the slimes in Stardew Valley. Pretty basic. Don't really have much intelligence. They just kind of roll around and just get aggroed by players. But I do have a number of variations to these things, just to keep it fresh. I want to make it a factory horror game. I'm not sure about the horror part though, but I coded all the systems, just need to make everything look good, I guess. Oh, nice. Yeah, horror is quite hard to get right. Like the Get Out that a lot of people try to do with horror games is make it purely jump scare, like shock horror, kind of like, ah, it's in your face. yeah, to get really get into people's nerves, it has to be kind of element of psychological, and that's not always easy to write. Like, if you want to put the player on edge, it's kind of building up tension and sort of making them fear at every point that they could face something they need to react to. Games like Dead Space I found quite good for that, because last time I played Dead Space I was suspicious of everything. And the thing is, the game doesn't actually throw that many things at you. It just throws enough at you that go, okay, it happened once, it could happen again. I'm not taking chances. I'm going to be cautious at every corner now. Resident Evil's another game based on that sort of idea of. But then Resident Evil was kind of threw a lot of stuff like, it's another zombie. But I remember in the first game, going, well, there's no zombies in this corridor. You're walking along, and then dogs jump through the window, and that absolutely scared the crap out of me when it happened. I got inspired by extreme coffee intake, so I want the monster toy with the player. When the monster toy with the player becomes tired. Starts hallucinating, so they need to drink coffee to stay energized. Ooh, I like that. Bit AFK Machine Head is doing a live show on Twitch in a practice room. Ooh, nice. Yeah, do your thing. Monsters like hide your coffee mug, lock doors, throw away the keys, and stalk. Ooh, I like. That's an interesting concept, but I like that. So yeah, really, say toying with the player, like you needing the coffee to stop yourself going delirious, really. In that sense, it's almost like the monster doesn't actually exist. It's just the player being so overworked and tired that they start hallucinating the monster, as you say. So I've certainly done that myself. When I've been so tired, I start to see things. Go, what? Not monsters, but like start being forgetful and being confused, and making the game out of that feeling, and that the monster is effectively real, if that is the case. But yeah, that certainly, messing with the player makes it more horror. And just all you need to do as far as monsters go, like a good example on Monster. Oh, you got inspired by your extreme coffee take. Okay, yes. Gotcha. Yeah, it's a great. As I said, I've had sort of caffeine crashes as well, and sort of. Yeah, you get so tired. So I can understand the concept, yeah. But yeah, as far as like Monster reveals, a good example of like doing monsters is the first Alien movie. Like, you don't really see much of the monster in Alien. Like, the alien, you see snippets of the alien, and you go, well, it could be anywhere. It looks like the environment. It can kind of hide, and you don't see the whole alien until right near the end of the movie. Until then, you see bits of the alien, and it's like, oh wow, what is this thing? I have no idea. We don't know what it can do. You just see like a flash of it, or like one or two frames, and then it's gone again. Don't plan on the monster ever attacking you, just stalking you from a distance and making everything eerie. Yeah, so definitely more psychological. Because it's, if the monster attacks you, it's more kind of adrenaline and action based. But you want to avoid this kind of thing, and Also, Voices of the Void is great inspiration for the game. Ooh, not too aware of that. Let's have a quick look. Quickly look that up. Horror simulation game player controls a scientist tasked with operating an observatory that detects radio signals from space. Oh. Okay, so yeah, very isolated experience and that sort of. Max, working again. I like the thingy you were making. Thank you, Lisa. Also a bit of AFK listening to machine, of course, yeah, you think. Yeah, I like psychological horrors where it's all you're having to stay on your toes. So what are you planning to do with this rock? So the idea of this rock, it kind of exists out in the wild. It's about 70 centimeters tall, and you just find one or two of them kind of just hanging around. And if it spots a player, it'll kind of roll towards the player. And if you get into a battle with it, it'll basically keep lunging at the player until the player defeats it. Just a very basic, like, nothing special about its attack. Just kind of effectively applies like direct physical attacks on the player. The most simplest enemy in the whole game. But the player is a magic type user, so they're not they haven't got a shield and a sword or anything. So you do have to kind of time your defense a bit better, rather than just kind of whacking it over and over. Let's go for what it is, but what other enemies you've got? This is the first enemy I've actually made so far. I thought, you know what, I better start making enemies. But I've got a whole list of things I'm going to be making. I've got things like golems, so kind of like huge hulking things that will cause a lot more of a threat. Got other things. Let's scroll down here. Got things based on lizards, things based on ents, like big tree creatures. You kind of your classic skeletons, armored snails. I thought that'd be quite interesting to try and take out. Mechanical bulls. So a variety of different kind of creatures that will have a elemental element to them. So I'm going to be applying a little bit of Pokemon style element mechanics to the game, where sort of certain creatures will have certain elements tied to them, and if you use magic of an effective elemental type, you can defeat them quicker. Not to say you can't defeat them with any type of magic, but yeah, if you want to knock them out quicker, certainly if you have a water-based magic and you have a fire-based enemy, you're going to kind of cause more damage to them. But yeah, I've got like fire lizards, that if you cast kind of like a water spell onto them, they will, yeah, they'll be defeated a lot quicker. Haven't really this guy as it stands doesn't really have an element. It's just a rock. And I know, like in the Pokemon world, rock is weak against water, but realistically, you throw water onto a rock, it's just a wet rock. It doesn't have any. It doesn't dissolve. It's just a rock. So I'm trying to go with more realistic interpretations of elemental stuff. I would really like to see this finished because I tried to make something like this but gave up because that time didn't have the skills I have today. But when they play something like this, cool. Yeah, I've not come up with anything groundbreaking, and I realise there's probably tons of clones like this. But my inspirations for this, I feel, will make it unique in kind of the sphere of elemental based adventure games. But I like the feeling of old school Zelda. So the exploration, but within a sort of a more channeled kind of world. Like, it's not going to be open world. There's so many open world now where it's just endless landscapes and endless monsters that you have to grind to level up. So I don't want to go down that route. Technically, pour water on the rock for long enough, it will start a route. Yeah, you're talking hours and days of constant water. Eventually, it will start to show some weathering. So I can understand the Pokemon logic of, yeah, water erodes rock, so it's more like years, yeah. Depends on the type of rock, I suppose. If it's a more porous rock, it'll eventually start dissolving. But yeah, solid rock, not going to erode so easily. And this is a fairly solid rock. So it's not going to be affected in that sense. There will be variations of this rock that will have magic enchantments to them, and because of that, they will have an elemental enchantment that will give it effects. But as this is just a rock. But I do have what's the different ones? Let's find it. Like electrical enchantment, a kinetic enchantment, water, darkness, air, ice, metal, nature, fire, sun, and earth. There's all the different magic enchantments. I'm planning to make for the rock, and then there'll be creatures, of course, which naturally have those elemental energy and magic applied to them. So this is kind of your base entry level to each of the elements. Like, you know how to defeat this, and then there'll be variations with the different elemental enchantments, and then there'll be creatures that you go, okay, I know the rock introduces you to it, and then there's a creature that you really have to apply your knowledge of how you defeat a rock with that enchantment. So it's kind of like, it's almost like a tutorial creature, I suppose, in some ways. I go, okay, I know I get more effectiveness attacking a water enchanted rock with certain elements. And then you find a huge creature and go, okay, this is going to be hard unless I apply my knowledge that I've learned from the rocks. So I'm hoping to kind of develop the game where you don't have to have like a an out of world explanation of, oh, do this and this and this is how you get through this. You know, I don't want to have to explain the mechanics to the player. I want them to be able to discover the mechanics more naturally. But that's kind of what I'm going for. Like, for them, rather than have it someone sitting down in the game and doing a full mechanical explanation, I want it to feel as natural as possible. So we'll see if I can pull that off. Will the rock glide, roll, or hop? This standard rock will just roll. It will just kind of just roll around, but possibly the ice rock might actually be a rock encased in ice, in which case it will probably slide in that case. And the fire rock would roll as well. Now the air enchanted rock could probably glide. I actually did 7-2 today, so I'm happy. Nice. I like the rock. I like the rock. Not the rock, but the one I'm making. Yeah. Yeah. So this guy is just going to be bog standard rock. As I say, there will be variations. I'm not entirely sure how the kinetic enchantment will affect the rock, because I would like kinetic magic and kinetic kind of energy, but I would like to have all the different elements applied to the rock in some form, as like almost like an example. So there will be different variations of this. I might have a thing like, as I said, that the ice one would likely slide because it just glides along on the ground because it's made of ice. And yeah, the air enchanted one will probably have a slight hovercraft effect. Could it be imbued with the magic of air? And I did toy with the idea that if it's imbued with the magic of air, it just has a helium balloon attached to it with a little string around it, so it just kind of hovering. So it might be quite funny to have a rock with a rope tied around it, tied to a balloon, it just kind of floats along. So I would like to have quite a bit of humour in this game. It's not going to be serious. And like the dark rocks imbued with dark magic, possibly even having fangs to kind of be more like a vampire or something. So you can instantly see, okay, this rock has fangs. It's probably more of a creature of the night type rock. But I think I'm trying to decide whether A, the rock is happy like it is, and B, do I want to do any form of animation in Blender, or leave all the animating and movement controls to Unity. So it depends whether I want the rock to be able to blink, or if it's just an unblinking staring rock. Because if the player's running around and they just see a rock like this, and they don't see the eyes, they think, oh, it's just a rock, and then it could just turn around and go, ah, it's a rock, let's go attack me. So I could have a number of rocks in a corner somewhere and just one of them has eyes. So it's almost deceiving that, oh, there's no enemies in the area. So I want to be able to hide the fact they have eyes. Whether the rock just rolls forward onto its face to hide the fact it has eyes. I don't know, because having the eyes animated could be cool. But how much effort do I want to put into possibly painting the back of the eyeball and then rolling the eyeball around? So it almost kind of like opens the eye by rolling it. I could try that kind of thing. Let's do like a rotation. So it just ends up doing something like this. And this opens its eye. And the eye can look up and down maybe. It's a possibility. In which case I would have to put an armature in on the eyeballs so they can be moved. So I can see if I can do that. Apply an armature just onto the eyeballs and have them rotate around an axis. Let's save what I'm doing here though. Then once I'm happy with this as a template rock, I can then make the variations of the rock. How would I do armatures? I might have to Google the armatures. And I'll apply it just to the eyeballs. Is that the end of the music? It is. Okay, let's see. Listen to another fog mantle. Let's do a quick rigging. It's rigging I want, isn't it? Animation and rigging. When you export it to Unity, can't you manually rotate the eyes without an armature? I might be able to, as long as Unity sees the eyes as separate objects. That's a possibility. But typically, if you've got an armature, you have a handle you can just apply a value to. Yeah, not too sure. Because everything I've exported to Unity has had an armature if I want to move it. I might be able to do it. I could probably export this to Unity, a basic Unity project, and see if I can do that. I don't want definitions of what rigging is. Well, actually, another reason for me not to like Unity. Yeah. Yeah, because if I export this as an object, it might show me the individual components, depending how I export it. Because typically I'll export it as an FBX. Because Unity likes FBXs. There's a nice quick rigging process. So I'm not rigging the entire model, I just want to apply hate hippies. Not as much as I hate commies, but I hate hippies as well. Okay. Did not try to sound like a 60 or American Republican? That's by accident, of course. It's been a while since I need to just basically sit here and create basic shapes and rig them, I think. Good, yeah, that's probably sound like a boomer Republican, but I hate hippies and commies. Okay. Let's just bring up this video. Shift A, armature, basic human, bird, cat, horse, shark and wolf. They're all built into Blender, that's pretty cool. Single bone. That's the body of it. How do we have the bone? Still fog mantle, yeah. Climax Arrow fog mantle. So Climax Arrow would be great if I was making a more of a cyberpunky stuff. But I agree. Musically, there's a lot more going on. So, yes, replace the main spine of the creature. What are we doing next? Ah, is it extrude? It is. There we go. That's what I was going for. Now what I want to do now, we go to here. So we name this bone. So rather than being called bone, let's call this body. Let's call that right eye. Or eye dot right. Or right. And call that eye dot. That's right, isn't it? Left. Left. So we've got right and the left eye. Now, what we want to do is unconnect them. Select it both and bring these forward into the eyes. Let's try and center these a bit. This also gives them opportunity to kind of center the eyes themselves. Let's hide the left eye for a moment. hide the right eye. And I can just move this specifically to the centre of the right eye. Clear eye slightly off. Being a rock, it's not exactly symmetrical. That's fine. Now we want to do some weight painting. We need to join it, don't we? Join. Okay. Get me a 90 bar freestyle rap with impeccable flow and I'll donate £300. £6.66 bonus for every M-World mixed in. That'll be quite fun, wouldn't it? Gotta be real rap, eh? Yep. Weight painting. Real gangster rap is both above and beyond politics, true. Starts with I am a peanut bar and I'm here to stay. 2 days ago I had the worst rap R&B song ever stuck in my head. Couldn't get it out. The first verse, okay. Why are you coming home 5 in the morning? Something's going on, I can smell your dick. Don't play with me like a fool, cause that ain't cool, so what you need to do is let me smell your dick. Okay. Is this one you've come up with, or is it actually an existing rap? It exists. Listen to the song at least once. Oh dear. It's good, it's stuck in my head. Okay. Oh god, why must I cry? Has similar musical value. Oh dear. It's good. Not sure if I've done this correctly, but we'll find out shortly. No, no is the answer. Oh wow. Risque. Cool, I shall listen to that after the stream. Yes, but better production value, one requires deep story. Okay. I'll check back later. I suddenly got an amazing idea for my factory layout. Oh, yes, do that. I won't be on for too much longer. But I try and do this every Wednesday, working on Blender, and my Friday streams typically are Unity. Next Wednesday won't be a stream. Next Friday probably won't be a stream. So next week streams will be quite minimal, but certainly after next week. If you're interested and you like the stream, Wednesdays afterwards will be all making characters for my new game. Well, thank you for dropping by, Bart. It's been cool to hang out and chat. So I need to work out what I'm doing with this. Gonna give it one more go, see if I can attach the eyes to this armature. Okay, so that's inside there now. Yes, that's now the whole thing selected. Cool. Bendy bones. Parenting. Let's see if I'm pretty happy with parenting generally. Pose. With applying automatic weights, probably isn't going to work. Looping parents. Okay, let's bring that outside again. Makes for an interesting what we're going for. Weight paint. Do I need to actually pair the eyes better to the object? Is that what the issue is? So two separate objects at the moment. Thinking I'll probably have to do some research off stream for this. I thought it'd be easier than it is. But yeah, I'll have a look into this off stream. Once I worked it out, we can do some cool stuff with it afterwards then. Let's switch over to that, because it's getting quite late. It's 20 past 11 here. And it's obviously past midnight for you guys. So I'm going to get some rest, do some research. Should be a stream on Friday. Yeah, no reason not to have a stream on Friday. Probably working on Unity. And then Monday, possibly a stream on Monday. But definitely no stream on Wednesday or Friday next week. So if you guys are free, I can let you know if Nix and I will be around on the Monday. And we can do a stream with them. Epic, famous streamer as always, made a cool rock. Thank you. Bye, have a good night, rest of your week. Talk to you next time. Yes, hope you both have a good rest. Enjoy your week. I should be back on Friday. Do something or other. Until then, hope you have a good night. And I shall see you on Friday. Good night.